Should I do a countdown? I'm going to do a countdown. All radio style. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Home Studio Simplified channel. We are doing another live stream for you guys. And as the title suggested, as the thumbnail suggested, we're going to be doing a live stream on the Arranger feature. And this is a super cool addition that Cakewalk by BandLab has just dropped in on us. And I've kind of went back and forth with some of the guys over on the forums and garnished a lot of questions from individuals about this. And one of the first things that I need to make mention of right out of the gate is that this is like a brand new feature that just rolled out. So with all that being said, let's go straight into the meat of the matter. And that is, of course, this slide right here. Ladies and gentlemen, if this is your first time stopping by the channel, I'm so thankful that you chose this channel out of the myriad of others that you could have been watching right now. This channel exists to simplify the complexities of the home studio and to help you make professional sounding music in a less than professional space. So with that being said, if you like what you see here today and you like this kind of content, you like mixing, mastering tutorials, how to use Cakewalk by BandLab, anything that has to do with making music in general, I'm all about it. So go ahead and hit that sub, go ahead and hit the bell and give this thing a thumbs up. And by the way, if you're watching, share this with your friends so they can hop on with you and we all can have some fun together, because I've got some cool stuff lined up today that I haven't done before that I think is going to be kind of add an element of fun to this. And as usual, let's also give a big shout out to our Home Studio Simplified chart toppers. Thank you, James Sheets. Yet again, you're still #1 on the charts, and Zave is still #2 on the charts for their generous donations. Zave, I've got to give a big shout out to you as well, buddy, because Zave just came on as a $1 a month Patreon pledge member. Thank you so much for that. And I did a little bit of an encapsulation about what that means in the last live stream that we did. Super cool there. So thank you so much for that. Definitely didn't have to do that, especially in the time and hour in which we're living. That's not easy. So I greatly appreciate it. All right, on to the next course of events. That's right, the Home Studio Simplified Quarantined Song Challenge. Man, I am getting submissions daily that, to be honest, they're blowing me away. Some of you guys are so talented. I should say all of you guys are so talented. But there's several of these especially that are just standing out to me. I'm not going to go ahead and name any names right now because I don't have all the submissions in, and I think that would be unfair to put my cart in front of the horse, so to speak. However, what I can say is this is going to be tough. This is going to be tough for you guys who are voting. This is going to be tough for people like me who's going to have to go back and figure out which one I felt like was the best. And guys, this is going to be a toughie. So I'm going to go ahead and hop on the live chat comment screen real quick just to catch up, see if I'm missing anything. I just want to make sure that everybody is being active over there. All right. Looks like the $1 a month pledge came in from Zave. Nice. Timothy Reynolds says he just uploaded the quarantine song from Dropbox with a Cakewalk project plus an audio folder with 3 samples. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Very cool. And thank you for subscribing, your mom. That's awesome. Whoever has the YouTube, it's probably like they just made that channel up just for this live stream so they could get on here and do that. That's awesome, by the way, that you would take the time to do that. Amazing. And there's the coffee that I said I was grabbing. Today, I'm actually drinking some Caribou coffee, in case you wanted to know. All right, so by way of the chats, let me know who all is situated and ready to kind of go through this arranger track process, because I don't want to jump into it and you miss something. I'd like to kind of jump into it while you're here so you can ask questions as I'm going. I do realize there's a little bit of a lag between the comments and the stream itself. So that does sometimes cause a little bit of a problem, but I want to make sure that I'm giving you guys the absolute most value that I possibly can. So let me know, like right now, if you're actually situated, you're ready to kind of zone out and get into this. And it doesn't look like my subscriber viewer count is uploading properly. It's saying 2, and YouTube is telling me there's like 6 or 7 on here. That's odd. Let's see. Boom, there we go. That's a little bit better. Okay. So due to the fact that there are no comments right now, I'm going to assume that you're either resting so comfortably that you have fallen asleep, or the incredible lag between comments versus what I'm seeing on your end versus my end is just not coming in fast enough. So I'm going to go ahead and hop over to the desktop. And Tim says, I'm ready. Right on. Thanks, Tim. All right. So in case you're new to this feature, if you have never looked at this feature as of yet, I want to show you what it looks like. So let's hop over to the desktop. Super cool. I think you're going to get a lot out of this feature. I mean, there's so much that this can do. But just to give you a really quick encapsulation of exactly what the arranger track is, at least by Cakewalk by BandLab standards, okay? The arranger track is an arrangement tool that provides several workflow benefits, and we're going to cover those right now. So first off, you can easily arrange sections of the entire project as one unit instead of moving individual clips. For example, you can instantly swap the positions of the first and the second chorus, and you can do this for all tracks, or you can copy the first verse in order to double its duration. So if I like the way the first verse sounds, I could simply take and copy this entire section if I wanted. And the cool thing is too, I don't have to just do it over here. I can actually do it over here as well. So just real quickly, for instance, I could actually just right click on this is one way and hit duplicate. You're going to see that reflect over here. Or it is going to take a little bit because my computer's bogged down right now. That's understandable. Or let me undo that. Another way that I could do it is I could click on these 3 dots that are over here. And several of you who have smartphones, you're used to seeing these 3 dots. You're used to seeing them on a lot of different websites. And so usually those 3 dots means that's going to expand a menu. And so it does. From this menu, I can rename things. I can duplicate this. I can delete it. I can do what this is called split clip at boundaries. So if this was a solid waveform, these were all solid waveforms, I could simply hit split clips at boundaries. And then what that would do is it would, like it's done here, which I've already done. So if I was to select that now, for instance, this bass track that's just one solid bass track would be split at those boundaries. So boom, there it is. Also, sort of a quick tip on this, if this here is enabled, it should do automatic crossfades. Now you'll notice that in this section here it did not, but that's because I'd already split it and drug it around via the actual arranger track itself. So this is very cool. It allows you basically, if I could be, let me see here. I'll try to get my mug on here. Boom, there I am. Okay. So basically it allows you to just move things around very seamlessly, at least for the most part. What I have seen, it works really well. And this is only like the beta. So, well, not really the beta, but this is like the first rollout of this. That means there's going to still be a lot of bugs. There's going to be some glitches. The cool thing is if you get on the Cakewalk forum, or if you get in touch with them personally, and I believe that's support@cakewalk.com. If you get in touch with them personally, they're very quick to answer. That's one thing that I absolutely love about them. Not only are they quick to answer, but they usually try to get more than one answer, if you understand what I mean. So the cool thing about Cakewalk is they're very, you can reach out to them at any time. They're very accessible. And that wasn't always the case before. Before you kind of had to go through your usual, channels, which is fine. I understand that. But, so the cool thing is, like I said, if you got questions, just reach out, ask them. You're more than welcome to ask me. You can email me at homestudiosimplified@gmail.com anytime, and I will do my best to answer questions as well. So essentially, though, by doing this, you're able to experiment with the different song structures in a non-destructive and a non-linear manner. For example, if you want your song to have verse, verse, chorus, verse, or if you wanted it to have like maybe verse, chorus, or you could have it verse, chorus, verse, bridge, however you wanted to do that, you could do it seamlessly within Cakewalk by BandLab now. And I'm going to go ahead and take my mug back off the screen just so that I'm not covering up this window over here that we need to see. And there we go. Okay. So with that being said, John Kasonga, so sorry if I butchered that. John Kasonga says, I like this feature. It reminds me of Cubase Arranger track. I've heard a lot of people say that. And in fact, what I think is going to happen is this is actually going to bring a lot more attention to Cakewalk than they've had up until this point, which they're already starting to gain a lot of traction. So I'm seeing it's just a matter of, the right people, I think, coming on board. And the more and more people that see just how powerful this is, I think what we're going to see is a lot more heavy hitters are going to begin to use this. And then that's just going to blow up. So, where was I at? Oh yeah. So you can also define the time range sections and sequences. You can sequence those in any order without even destructively moving any audio clip. And you can even save multiple arrangements within each project. So check this out. One thing that I have to make mention of this because this was frustrating to me at first, and now I'm starting to, hey, Mark George, good to have you, buddy. So one thing that I have to make mention of because I've seen a lot of people complaining about it, and I figured a way around it. And basically, so as you can see right now, I've got things selected in this. So if I go to drag this, what that's going to do is if I go to drag the end of this, what that's going to do is that's actually going to destruct. It's going to destroy things if I wanted to drag it out. However, if I'm not clicked in anything down here, if I'm only clicked in something up here, then when I go to drag things around, it does it non-destructively. So if I drag it out now, you don't see any destruction happening here. You're only affecting what's in the arranger track. So Timothy Reynolds says the arranger track might work for developing ideas from scratch early in the creative process. Tim, that's huge right there, what you just said, because that's exactly what I'm doing right now. In fact, with this very song that I'm sort of showcasing this with, and that's why I'm showcasing this song with it, is because this is literally just a song I'm kind of throwing together for my portion of the song challenge. I wouldn't want to have you guys do a song challenge and me not do one. So I'm putting together a song myself. And so this is like literally like a rough draft, a rough idea. And I'm using this arranger feature to put it all together right now. So to your point, Tim, you're absolutely correct. This is awesome for developing ideas. In fact, it's helped me already to help just know what I wanted my production elements to be. Like, for instance, I just talked about just a second ago about how you can choose verse, verse, chorus, verse, or you can arrange that however you'd want. So literally, this is causing me to know what I want my production elements to be, like what instruments I want to play and when I want them to play. And it's also giving me a good leg up to know what my arrangement needs to be. Because I'm already starting to think, after using this now, maybe I don't want it to go verse, chorus, verse. Maybe I want it to actually go like a intro into a verse that's sparsely populated with no guitars and, you know what, no bass. So I'll just delete that out of here. Now that's saved. And maybe I just want it to sound just like this. Okay, so just real quickly, I'm going to go ahead and play this. Like, this is what I would want maybe the first verse to sound like. Of course, this is longer than what I would want it to be, but yet again, that's the cool thing about this. I mean, you're just completely shooting from the hip, and it allows you, I think, to be more creative, which is what I like about it. So If I wanted the first verse to just be very sparsely populated, nothing but drums and acoustic guitar, this is kind of where it's set at now. So loud noise in 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so like I said, that gives me so much creative leeway because now I can say, okay, do I actually want it to sound that way? Or maybe I want a bass guitar in there. So I just simply, drag that bass guitar back in whenever I need it. And now I can listen to that. Here's the cool thing. I don't even have to use this playhead anymore. I can literally just go over here and just listen to only verse 1. And when that's stopped, it will stop after only verse 1. So as you can see, just, kind of fleshing out this rough draft, this real quick thrown together song here, I'm already starting to develop like ideas. Their creativity is a lot more open now, I feel like, just from this one update. So John Kasanga asks, so is this version update out yet for download? Absolutely, it is. And there is actually, I will try to go ahead and get you that link real quickly. It should be available in your BandLab Assistant if you don't already have that. If you've not downloaded it at all, Cakewalk by BandLab, I mean, it'll be available with the usual download that you would go to anyway. But if you already have Cakewalk by BandLab downloaded, then it should be in your BandLab Assistant window. So if you need that link, I'm going to go ahead and post it into the chat now. Here you go. That'll take you straight to the page where you can actually download it if you don't already have it. Okay. All right, so we've went over a couple of the features now as far as the experimentation and all of that. The other thing that I want to bring up that I like about this is the fact that this is all able to be color-coded. So because this is the way that it is, you can actually create a color-coded overview of the song structure itself. You can use this Arranger Inspector to quickly navigate then around that project and jump to the song sections like I just showed you. So I can literally just use this navigator section over here, the Arranger Inspector rather is what they call it, to jump to those different sections. So if I wanted to jump straight to the bridge, and that's very busy. There's a lot of work that still needs done on this. Like I said, I'm just literally fleshing this out even today, literally just throwing stuff in here. So, but as you could see though, when I went to the bridge variation 1, it took the playhead right to bridge variation 1. So, and the cool thing is I actually had done a video sort of with the same song, but I've changed the tempo. So I had to re-record everything. And that's what I mean by I'm literally just doing this like within the last day or two. I've just kind of thrown some stuff together. So, but it was very quick as opposed to the older process was still very quick in the sense that Cakewalk is very user friendly. It's very intuitive, and it's got a lot of features that just make it what it needs to be. But thank you so much, Mark, for your generous donation. You have just actually, you know what? Ladies and gentlemen, we have a super chat chart topper. That's right. And because we have a super chat chart topper, not to digress from what we're talking about, but we'll get back to it. This is cool. I want to actually show you guys something that I think you're going to find fun. I like to have fun around here, if that's all right. So because we have a super chat chart topper, we're now going to do this new little ditty here, which is called none other than, let's make sure I get it set up right here. This is the Wheel of Awesomeness. Okay, so essentially, this is a new feature that I'm kind of just throwing out there to try to have fun and keep you interested. I don't want you to be bored while you're here. Just listen to me mundanely going through things about Cakewalk. And if you're here for that, I'm sorry, but I like to have fun. So we're going to spin this wheel, and essentially there's several different options here. There's a mixed critique. If it lands on that, you're going to get to send me a free mixed critique. If it lands on a trivia question, I'm going to give a trivia question to the group, and then you all get a chance at trying to solve the question. There's a favorite, which I'm going to ask you guys, which is your favorite? And in turn, you can ask me maybe which is my favorite. I don't know. We're kind of just shooting from the hip today. That's cool. And then I also have the tutorial vid request. So if it lands on this, then you guys in the comments can put there which tutorial you would like to see me put out next. And that would be like a static tutorial, or we could even do a live tutorial, and you could put that in there. Live tutorial of this, or, you know, a static, just normal video of this. And then lastly, we have a song feature. So if it lands on that, then you guys are more than welcome to send me a song feature. Mark, you'll be more than welcome to send me a song feature, and then I will feature that here on the show. So let's spin the Wheel of Awesomeness. Oh, the suspense. Is it ever going to stop? Right on. All right, Mark. So if you have any mixes whatsoever that you would like to get a personal mix critique on, send that to me via email. That would be at homestudiosimplified@gmail.com. And we will do a mix critique of that. I will do a video where I critique it and give you some tips on maybe what you could do to make it sound better. And then I will send that video back to your email personally. And that will be just for you, buddy. So thank you so much. And by the way, thank you for the generous donation. You have just become a super chat chart topper. Right on, guys. Okay, so let's go back to the old desktop here and back to the old, where were we? I think I need to shrink the screen down just a bit. There we go. All right. Da-da-da-do. Now, want to make sure okay, so we were basically at the color coding of the tracks. I'm sorry, I was trying to catch my drift there of where I was at before. You know, the older I get, the more that I find out that's not as easy. So Mark says he sent me the song. Oh, yes, that's right. That is right. Mark loves the Wheel of Awesomeness. Nice. Thanks, man. So yeah, you sent the song The Circle of Wagons. Nice. Okay. I do have some mix critiques that I want to send you on that, but I have to say that was mixed really well. You did a good job on that. That was, and I loved the guitars in that too, by the way. As a guitarist myself, I'm like, oh, Zave's on. What's up, Zave? Buddy, you just got bumped down to third place. I apologize for that. Okay, so Zave's got a good question here. I wonder if you can automatically loop any of those sections. You know, actually using the loop feature that's found within Cakewalk by BandLab, I can actually select this here. And here's the cool part. Hold Shift and press L. So if you didn't catch that, guys, hold Shift, press L. That will set that section only to loop now. So I don't know about automatic looping, but what I do know is if I'm taking you correctly, I'm thinking what you're fine, Zave, don't worry about it. What you're talking about is I seen that. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. He's now a $1 a month Patreon pledge member. Thank you, man. Oh, and by the way, Mark, don't let me forget, because you gave in the super chat, you're going to get something free for that too. Other than just the mix critique that you just won as well. It's your lucky day, man. All right. So, in case you missed out, Zave, we're doing a new feature here on the channel, by the way, which is the Wheel of Awesomeness. I hope you caught that. If you didn't, hopefully we'll get to see that again. Oh, okay. Not exactly what I meant. Okay. I think what you're saying then is like basically selecting different portions separately and having them loop that way. Now, if that's what you're thinking, then actually there's sort of a way to do that. It's like a workaround, and I'm kind of getting into that here in just a little bit. So, um, he says, "Did you see my question?" Let me make sure. Okay, $10. And the question was, oh, okay. Did you already discuss the slight audio glitch from section to section? Okay, if that's the question you were talking about, I have not covered that yet. Now, what I did say at the very beginning of this was the fact that this is just rolled out. So, I mean, there's going to be some stuff that obviously, there's going to be some glitches in the system. I think we were all kind of expecting that with a brand new rollout. So, I mean, they are going to have to work through some of those. But other than that, honestly, I kind of expected that anyway, just by the intrinsic way that music is. I mean, no vocalist is going to sing exactly on the bar. So there's going to be sections sometimes I feel like where you may have to kind of finagle things a bit. And maybe even, further down the road, it's going to get even more intuitive. But even right now, I think, as John Kasanga has said, I can see myself using this in a live performance situation where I need to navigate to each section of the song. That's a very, very good point right there. Actually, John, that brings me back to the whole Ableton Live. I said Ableton this time. Last time I said Appleton or something crazy. But yeah, I got a buddy who uses Ableton Live with a worship setting, and he will literally go from section to section during different portions of the song. And I think this is going to kind of throw Cakewalk into that arena, which is going to be super cool. I might even pitch it to him and say, dude, you need to get on this thing now. So, okay, Mark, that was your question. Good deal. I'm glad I could answer that. So yeah, there is going to be a little bit of audio glitches that take place just due to the intrinsic nature of it being a brand new release. So, which, I kind of felt like we were going to see that anyway. But I hope it gets better. So yes, Ableton Live, he says. Not Appleton this time, guys. So Mark says, understood, and as its simplest form, it's a great tool to try out arrangements. Yes, exactly. I mean, it's probably not the be-all, end-all right now. It may be later. But just like I said, when this first came out, my big thing was like for beat makers, for individuals who work with loop-based audio, where loop-based audio is always on the grid, this is going to be a huge game changer because, I mean, basically you could crank out beats like crazy with this thing and arrange them however you wanted them. You could even crank out a beat and then send it off to a customer and have them like tell you what the arrangement needs to be. And you could literally just swap it in a matter of seconds. And they would think, man, he's doing all kinds of crazy hard work over there. And all you're doing is just swapping around these little blocks up here. So, yeah, there's so many cool features with this. And speaking of which, let's go ahead and get back into those features. And why does that subscribe thing keep popping up over my head or under my head? I feel like my chin was riding on it. Anyway. So yeah, I'm going to go back to discussing. So we went over the color coding, which was very cool. Zave had the question about the looping of different areas. And yes, Reason has this feature is called blocks. Yes. And I think that's actually what they're trying to call it too. I've seen in their copy work already like 3 or 4 different times they've called it blocks. So I think they're really trying to appeal to that audience, which I don't blame them. There's a wide variety of users there. So okay, so not only can you create arbitrary sections anywhere in the project timeline and then later string them together for seamless playback, I should say, with air quotes. These sections provide an additional way also to perform time-based selections and edits of the project, which I think is super cool too. And what I mean by that is like you don't even have to use this arrangement window for specific like parts like verse, chorus, verse. You could literally use that for instance, I'm thinking of integrating it into my podcast and I'm going to use one section for the intro music, and then one section for, I have a segment in my podcast called The Ear to the Ground, where I give basically like a couple of news tips or news articles, if you want to call it that, from different things. And then I always talk about 3 free plugins that you can integrate into your DAW. And so I could use that for that segment because it has its own music. Then I could just boom, and it would make it pretty much seamless. I'm going to have to play around with that. I shouldn't say seamless yet, but so also with this, and this is the cool part that I want to get into, this kind of falls in line with what Zave had said earlier about the looping of the sections. I believe Zave says, I believe if you have markers set, you can set the arranger to match the markers. Yes, you can. And that's very, very cool that you brought that up. So for instance, let's say that all of this, let's see, how would I do this real quickly just to kind of show you guys? Okay, so I'm going to, oops, I see, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Because I had things selected down here, whatever I did up here ultimately affected that. So I need to select only up here and then delete the sections either by right clicking on them here or deleting them from over here. So, okay. So I'm just going to delete all of these real quickly, and I think I should be able to. Yeah, so if you click on the first one and you hold shift, you can click on all of them and select them all at once. Very cool. And then I'm just going to delete every bit of that. Okay, so I've got 2 markers in here, which really don't make any sense. I've just got them randomly thrown up in there. What am I doing over here? Okay, you can do the same thing over here. That's kind of cool to know. So I can select this first one, hold shift, and select all of them and do the same thing over here. Awesome. So now there's nothing in the arrangement section. And if you didn't catch that in the first stream where I kind of looked over this, you can actually collapse this with the A button. And you can also bring it up from over here with the A button. And A stands for awesome. It doesn't stand for arranger, okay? All right. So I've got these 2 markers here, and like Zave was just saying, let's say that I select all of this. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Control A, select the entire project, and then I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to place these from the selection, and that's the entire selection, okay? And then I'm going to undo that, and delete that. Whoa. I keep forgetting to click up here first. Oh, see, it's trying to select all of it. There we go. I had to double click on it. Mark says, I find that the shift and the alt keys are just the daddies on Cakewalk. Yeah. Okay. I got you. All right. So we have these markers here. And as Dave was saying, I believe there is a way to use these markers to actually set the, no, that's not it. This is such a new feature to me. This is crazy. So, all right, let me see here. I'm going to select verse 1. You go in here. Okay, so, okay, got it. So if I was to select this marker and then select from there to there, So that would be my first one, and this would be my second. Okay, so there's my selection. No, that didn't do like I thought it would do. Now there is a way to do this. I just figured it out the other night. And you can actually set it by your markers. I just got to figure out how I did that. Oh, there it is. Hello. Create selection from markers. Boom. Okay. All right. So there you go. Mark was trying to help me out, buddy. Thank you so much. Okay. So yeah, if I was to go up here and see, I learn a lot by doing this from you guys too. That's what's awesome. I keep. All right. The system's not broke. It's just I haven't completely learned it yet. So, yeah. So I've got this this portion selected here, and I am going to. Oh, that's not it. So I'm going to say from this marker to this marker, and then I'm going to say insert from markers. Okay, there we go. Woo! Thanks for helping me out there, Mark. I knew it was there, I just couldn't find it. This is so new that it's like, actually, I love the fact that it's like challenging me again, because there for the longest time, I was like, okay, I mean, I've never stopped learning stuff from this DAW because it's just so expansive. In fact, I'd like to learn some more about loop-based audio and working with beats, because I've got a lot of people reaching out and wanting me to make them beats, and I'm like, I probably could, but I don't necessarily know how to. It wouldn't be quick enough for me to make it actually, worth my while. All right, so we kind of struggled through that. I apologize, but yet again, this is new, and that's fine. I'm not here to be perfect. I'm just here to try to help. So, John says, "Wow, okay." Yeah, definitely. You can start to see how this is definitely adding up to be something crazy. Okay. Gonna go back here. So we talked about how we can hide it, how we can show it by pressing the A button. We also talked about how that the arranger track shows all defined sections. So you can drag to create and rearrange sections, and then you can freely move them around on your timeline, which is awesome. Any changes that you make in the arranger timeline immediately are reflected in the arranger inspector as well. So that's definitely a cool thing. Yes, Mark, we are learning together. That's awesome. And that goes back to the motto of the channel. If I could just, but for a minute, just go back here. Remember, we are here to dream, create, and together we can achieve. I actually failed to even say that when I read this tagline this time. Thanks for pointing that out, though. But yeah, that's what we're all here for, is to learn together. I mean, that's actually the best part of going live too, is we can bounce ideas off of each other. And I don't claim to know everything, and I certainly don't feel like I'm like the best at Cakewalk by BandLab. As far as, navigating around it, there's other people out there, I'm sure, that are doing a far better job than what I'm doing. But the difference is, I'm willing to learn, and I'm willing to learn from you guys just as much as I hope you're willing to learn from me. So very cool. Very cool. We are going to go ahead, and because we've kind of covered like the big parts of this, well, actually, let me go back first and let's talk one more thing. So the arranger inspector, if you hold Alt, Shift, and I, let me make sure I'm in the right window here. Alt, Shift, and I will actually close that as well. I know it's kind of like but it's an extra, like maybe if you had it popped out somewhere, which I think, like everything else, I think I don't know if you can pop it out and fly it around though. Zave says, wow, I don't have an arranger item in the insert menu, but I do see the arranger track. Huh. That's crazy. And I think that might be part of some of those glitches that were probably going to help them work out. All right, so the other thing I was going to point out, other than just being able to hide it with that other keyboard shortcut, was that with the rollout of this new update, apart from just this, there were other updates that we're going to go into here in just a second as well. But the next thing I want to talk about is this arrangement window itself as far as building arrangements and saving them. So I'm going to take my mug off the screen here so we can get down to this lower section. Got to figure out where my mug is. There it is. Okay. All right. So now we're at the bottom portion here. This is the arrangements section. So if I wanted to say go verse, verse, chorus, I can do that now. Maybe I wanted to go verse, verse, chorus, verse, bridge. I can do that. And then what I can do is go in here and rename that. I don't know, arrange 1. And then make sure you hit enter. Otherwise that will go away and you'll be aggravated. And then I can actually create a new one. And I can say, actually, I want it to go verse, chorus, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. Okay. And then I can just simply rename this arrangement 2. And now I can seamlessly go back and forth between those arrangements based off of this arrangement window. So I can go over here and I can select different arrangements here. The cool thing about this too is if I'm in a hurry or I want to hear what these sound like in the real world, I can simply go to this export as audio, and this is going to pull up this screen here where now I have another option under my bounce settings for the source category. Instead of just tracks, buses, hardware outputs, entire mix and clips, now I have arrangements. So I can literally select all of the arrangements that I've made at once and have them all bounced out into stereo mixes of, if I want them to be stereo, that is, but stereo mixes of what those arrangements are. So that's super cool. And from what I have heard too as well on the Cakewalk forums, is that whenever you bounce them out like that, they actually, like those glitchy areas, Mark, I believe it was you that brought that up, or maybe it was Tim. One of the Marks brought it up, okay? We got Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch on here. One of the Marks brought it up, and basically that glitchiness that you get from one clip to the next, that, from what I understand, that goes away. I probably need to actually do that myself first before I say that that does work. So don't take my word for it, but I believe that it actually takes that glitchiness out. So John Kasanga says, is there a way to assign a MIDI key to those arranger blocks to trigger them? Ooh. You know, John, I apologize. Streamlabs evidently thinks that the word assign is a bad word. I apologize for that. I have them monitoring my chat to make sure that there's no foul language flying out of here. They just kicked one out yesterday for the word analogy, I guess, because they thought anal was included in that word. I try to keep this as clean as possible, but I apologize, guys, if you get a message from Streamlabs telling you to refrain from foul language and you've used none, just disregard it. Streamlabs is just trying to be extra cautious. So back to your question though, John, because this is an awesome question. Is there a way to assign a MIDI key to those arranger blocks to trigger them? That I do not know yet. I will have to, you know what? That's what we're here for. Let's just try to work through that together. Just from first glance though, it doesn't seem that you can do that. I may be wrong, but just from first glance, like if I was to go here or here, you think that would be an option here. So, now that might be not might be, that is definitely something that they need to consider about adding in there. So that would be super cool. Man, that would make it like Ableton on crack. I mean, this would be like the best DAW ever. I mean, it already is, but it would be even better. I mean, that would take it to the next level, this arrangement section to the next level. In fact, if you want, you definitely need to get on the Cakewalk forums and submit that bad boy. You need to submit that. Lay hold on that. Claim it. So, you know what? Actually, for that, we're going to go ahead and spin the wheel again, the Wheel of Awesomeness, because that was just an awesome question. So I'm going to go back to the Wheel of Awesomeness here. Let's bring that up. Boom. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Wheel of Awesomeness. Let's go ahead and spin this bad boy and see what gets kicked out of here this time. Do-do-do-do. Let me figure out which screen it is that I'm spinning it on. I've got like 17 browsers open. Okay, here we go. This one's for you, John, for the awesome questions. Oh, a favorite. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and ask in the chat now, what is your favorite guitar brand? Or you can ask me a favorite. What's my favorite plugin? What's my favorite, whatever it might be. We can kick those back and forth. I'll keep an eye on those while I'm going on with the rest of this. But Mark says, yay, the wheel. I know, I thought that was kind of cheesy at first, but then I thought, you know what? They're probably just as cheesy as me. They'll like that. You need to write yes, that's an awesome idea, Mark. Write a jingle for the wheel. That is an awesome idea. The Wheel of Awesome. I can hear it now, like in my head. The Wheel of Awesome. Like have it, radio announcer style. That's an awesome idea. All right. So in the chat, guys, what is your favorite guitar of choice? All right. Mark says PRS. Ooh, I really want to try and get my hands on a PRS. I haven't even played one. I keep looking at them, but they're so stinking expensive. I don't even touch them. I'm afraid like I'm going to fall in love with it and max out my credit card to get one. You have to let me know though. Like if there's any sales going on or something like that, dude, email me, hit me up, send me coupons, whatever. I'm Scottish. I'm a cheapskate. Okay. Send me some coupons. So, Fender, Mark, my man. I'm a Fender guy myself, as you can see, if I don't break my neck trying to point at it. This one here is a Fender, made in Mexico, Fender Stratocaster there, and then right next to it, that is a Squier Classic Vibe Tele Thin Line Telecaster. So make like a carnival music introduction for the wheel. Ooh, nice. I like that idea. You know what? Actually, we're doing a song submission contest right now. Why don't you guys, if you're up for it, why don't you guys submit songs for the Wheel of Awesomeness? And then maybe we could like rotate through the Wheel of Awesomeness songs that you guys have submitted. That would be cool too. Hofner. Ooh, John has got some taste. I'm telling you. Those are some very well-made guitars. I have to say that. As much of a Fender guy as I am, I have to say, because I have actually picked up a couple of those are nice guitars. By far. But the one thing that I would say about Hofner, which I'd have to do my research, but if I'm not mistaken, I'm gonna look real quick because I don't think they have very many selections. They've only got like a few, if I'm not mistaken, they've only got like a few. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I see some acoustics and I see a violin. What is going on? Like this is all in German. Okay, so I'm looking at the website right now, guys. I'm I'm not trying to digress, but we're talking about guitars now, and this is just getting... All right, so here's one of the... Okay, so yeah, they do have some guitar. Yeah, because that's... Yes, they have the... Oh, what kind of guitar is that called? It's an archtop guitar. That's absolutely amazing. Yes. Zave says, I wish I could afford an Ibanez. Yeah, I know, man. Ibanez guitars are pretty nice, but that's just not my style. They've never really been my style. You know, to each their own, though. I'm a Strat guy, always have been. However, I do like this Cort back here. This is a Cort. Actually, there was a guitarist on a couple of streams ago who actually named the model. He just looked at it hanging on the wall and named the model. I don't even know the model myself. And after he said that, I went and researched it, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's... Mark says, I love my PRS, but my desert island guitar would be a Telecaster. Nice. Nice, Mark. There's just so much variety you can get with a Tele. You can't go wrong. All right, so we have spun the wheel of awesomeness. We have asked the questions, the hard questions. And now let's get back to the desktop here, where we're going to be talking more about this. The features that were updated as well with Cakewalk by BandLab, apart from just the arranger. Yeah, I said that. Coffee's not kicking in yet, I guess. All right, so the other features that were updated with Cakewalk by BandLab, apart from the arranger, let me say that right, is the fact that the Pro channel now has module presets. So in addition to saving presets of the entire Pro channel chain, like I showed you before, you can also save and load presets of individual modules. So the per module preset controls are located on the left-hand side of each module at the header bar. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So we'll open up the Pro channel. You can see here in these little arrows are the presets. So kick drum, beef boost, kick thumper, massive low end. You can actually now cycle through these different presets. You can create these presets as well. If I was to fly this out, not from here. No, not from here. You can create these presets as well, though, by clicking this little box here. Oops, no. That's a list of all of your presets. Where's it at? No, this is so frustrating. Now, one of these buttons allows you to save that preset, like if you move something. And I will find it here in a minute. Or maybe it's just, okay. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought I was... Am I seeing things, guys? I thought there was a... Okay, you can also copy and paste settings between Pro channel modules. You can copy settings from one Pro channel model to the next and paste settings to any other instance of the same module on any track or bus, which is cool. Which we could, I kind of showed you guys how to do that before. Yeah, but I thought there was a way to like save this. There it is. Good night. That's a little bitty, teeny, tiny arrow. They need to fix that. I'm calling them out about that one. So right here, where this little dot is, which you probably can't even see it because it's so stinking tiny on your screen, this little itty bitty dot, an arrow pops out and boom, now you can save your preset. You can delete presets. You can copy settings. So let's copy the setting here and let's move to a different track. And now let's bring that out again and paste the setting. Boom. All right. Now let's undo that by going to get, oh, it won't let me undo that. So how do I go back to the one that I just had it on? Ooh. So see, there needs to be an undo feature right there. That would be cool. So like if you accidentally paste and copy it to the wrong place, you could just, you know, okay. Which that's no big deal. I can, this is not a completely mixed song for a client anyway. It's just something I'm messing around with. But yeah, that's how you pop that out. And then, you can also append per output instrument tracks. So, Um, Okay, that was always there. And then this. Okay. When you insert a multi-tremble soft synth, you can specify how many instrument output tracks to create. So if I was to go in here and say I wanted to create another instrument track, so it should be from here then, like let's say session drummer, MIDI channel Omni, and then go to advanced. So now I can, okay, cool. Instrument track per output. I see. Okay. Yeah, this was not an option before. So that's cool. And then Mark says, I only found out the other day that if you, for instance, do a bass and put a few effects on it and like the way it sounds, you can save the effects rack for future use. That blew me away. Yeah. I talked about that in, I think it was a couple of live streams ago, where you can actually create your own effect, your own plugin, essentially, which I can do that on screen real quick and kind of show you that if you're not familiar with that either. It's super cool. So I'll just use this kind of blank track here to kind of show you guys. It'll be easy to see. But essentially, I can go in here. Oh, well, that's a MIDI track. That's not going to work. Okay, let's do this one here. This is an audio track. So essentially, I can go in here in my effects rack, and I can say, okay, on this kick, I want, ooh, I got the wrong plugin layout. Let me go with my custom plugin layout. There we go. So I can go in here and say, okay, I want the transient shaper on there. Actually, let me do it this way. It'd be a lot easier. So I'm going to say insert FX chain right here, and then essentially create my own plugin from a plethora of other plugins. So I can, at any time, just say, okay, I want to insert an audio effect here. Let's do the transient shaper. That'll be the first in line. And then after I shape that transient, well then now I want to give it some spatiality. So I'm gonna put let's see which one. Oops. Channel tools, which is an awesome tool that's in Cakewalk by BandLab. If you have not used this, this is really cool. It's great for mid-side processing. So let's say I do that. I want to make my drums a little more stereo sounding. I'll put that on there. And then lastly, I want to compress the snot out of them. So I'll put the Sonatus compressor on there. And okay, great. Now I've got me basically a plugin customized to what I wanted it. And so I can call this like drum awesomeness. Don't want to put 3 S's, just want to put 2. Okay. All right, so then essentially what I can do is I can add a knob that will then control. So let's say grit, or actually let's say attack. Okay, and then this will control the transient shaper attack. So now I have an attack knob that controls the transient shaper's attack just with this knob. Super cool. There's all kinds of unlimited potential here with this. So I think there's a way, yeah. I was wanting to open this and then I can pin it right here and I'll show you. By turning this knob, now you can see it's turning the attack knob, and you can set all of them, any parameter you can be set like this. So you could essentially create your own plugins, like custom plugins from the ones that you already have. Super cool. All right, guys, we are an hour into the stream. Thank you guys so much for sticking around for an hour. I don't plan on going anywhere just yet. But what I do want to say is that we're an hour into the stream and we have one person who has donated to the super chat. Is there anybody else who would be willing to step up to the plate and to help spin the wheel of awesomeness? Anybody, for any amount. And remember, any amount will get you a freebie. And to those who have gotten your freebies, put a comment in the section, in the comment section right now, or in the chat, that whether you found your freebie helpful or not. So if you have got a freebie, I know the hour went fast. I know Zave got a freebie from me. I believe Mark did too, for his awesome questions. I can't remember. I'm giving this stuff out like crazy. Okay. You know what? Just forget it. You know what? I'm not going to sit here and say that you have to do $1 super chat. What I'm going to say is we're going to spin the wheel of awesomeness anyway, because we're awesome. So let's go on over to the wheel of awesomeness. And we're missing that jingle music, I know. We're going to go ahead and spin the wheel of awesomeness one more time before this stream ends. And anytime I get a super chat, the wheel of awesomeness will be spinned irregardless. And then at times like this, I'm just going to spin it just because. I'm going to spin the wheel of awesomeness this time because you are awesome. How about that? All right, here we go. All right, trivia question. All right, so I'm going to pose a trivia question for you guys. And we will see who can get this trivia question right. Okay, let's see. Okay, here's a good one. What American singer-songwriter wrote and first recorded the song Blue Suede Shoes in 1955? That is the trivia question. So I'm going to go ahead and post that in the chat as well. So in case you missed it, you can go back and answer that. But that is the trivia question for now. All right. Creating a song from scratch series. That's what Mark got. Okay, cool. He says it's been very helpful. Good deal. Whoa, Zave. Zave is the man. He's got another $5 donation, which puts him at 10 now total. So now he's tied for the top position with 3 other people. How are we going to do this, people? How are we going to do this? Mark says Carl Perkins. Mark, you are on it. I'd have to Google it. At least Zave is honest. Let's see. Elvis the Pelvis, I reckon, Mark says. All right. The actual answer to that, Mark got it, was Carl Perkins. Very, very, that was impressive, Mark. Wow. Okay, so here was the question in case you missed it. And then the answer was Carl Perkins. Big shout out to Mark Bergstaller. Hope I'm saying your last name right, buddy. Big shout out to Mark Bergstaller for answering correctly. That was, I did not expect that. I did not expect that answer to come back so quickly. All right, so because we got, you know what? Are you guys all right with me spinning the wheel again? I'm really getting into this wheel thing. If you guys are cool with that, I mean, we did get another super chat from Zave, so yeah, that constitutes another wheel spin. Let's go back to it. All right, so we've done a trivia question today. We've got a favorite. We've also got a mixed critique that's going to be sent in. That's super cool. Let's see what else we can get. Let's see what else we can get here on the wheel of awesomeness. You're right. That would be so cool right now to have like some jingle music playing in the background, or even like Jeopardy like music, something like that. Spin the wheel, spin the wheel. All right, here we go. You ready? I know the suspense is killing you guys. And right on, right on. We got a song feature. So Zave, because you donated in the super chat and you got allowed us to spin the wheel of awesomeness again, you now get to have a song feature. Now this can be a song that you yourself have written, or this could be a song that maybe you want to submit that someone else has collaborated with you, or just a song that you would like featured. So, and because this is a clean channel, the only stipulation is, I would rather recommend that it would be a clean song. So good deal. So Mark says some 80s game show music would be awesome. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I like that idea. Good deal. Good resources for beginners, Camille Crawford says. Okay, well, I would be remiss to say that it would be kind of one-sided of me to say that I offer great resources for beginners. I do. However, I would be remiss if I did not mention some of my favorite online mentors, such as, yes, Dave, just go ahead and send it in to homestudiosimplified@gmail.com. And then the next live stream, I'll go ahead and we'll feature that, buddy. So, and don't worry about the quality of it either. If it's not something like you feel like, or, let me know in the email, like let me know like what stage it's at. Is this like a fully mixed song, a master? That way we can kind of give, whenever we give that feature, we can say, okay, now listen guys, this is not a fully mixed feature, but this is a song submission. And I guarantee you, because everybody in this chat, everybody that tunes into this channel is very laid back, calm, and collective. Everybody's cool. You're not going to get any bad feedback from that. So back to Camille's question, good resources for beginners. That would be, like I said, I've got a lot of great resources here on my channel. I've got tons of tutorials, Cakewalk by BandLab tutorial. I got an entire playlist for that. I've got mixing tips and tricks. But apart from that, there are other individuals that I would be remiss if I did not give them a shout out. And that is one of my all-time favorites is Warren Hewitt over at Produce Like a Pro. Super laid back, super nice guy. He has done so much for the audio community in general. He actually works in a studio like full time. That's his job. And he has an amazing, amazing way of sharing with people. Another great individual, great resource for you guys. Obviously, I'm sure if you're here, you found Graham Cochran. Graham Cochran is he's like right up there with Warren with me. He's another great resource. You're not going to hear anything, like you can let your kids watch along with Graham. You can do the same with Warren for that matter. If your kids are watching or they're in the background playing, like they're not going to hear any obscenity or anything like that. So very cool. Not only, do we have Graham Cochran and Warren Hewitt, but we also have some other great resources. I would be remiss to tell, there are so many I could not name all of them. Joe Gilder at Home Studio Corner. Let's see. Mike Inyo over at, I keep thinking awesome, Creative Sauce channel. He does a lot of cool Cakewalk tutorials as well. In fact, I'm going to have him on next week as a guest. So be looking forward to that. We're going to try to go live and answer your guys' questions together. I've been wanting to get on with him and collab. So me and Mike are going to be collabing. I'm also going to be collabing here in a couple days with a channel that I just recently stumbled across. His name is Bagonzo. From what I can tell, though, he's predominantly a beat maker in Cakewalk. So I'm going to bring him on to not only help me understand how to, make beats in Cakewalk, but also to help you guys to know how to use some of the features that maybe we've been overlooking. So that's kind of cool. He's kind of up and coming in the beat making world using Cakewalk by BandLab. So I figured it would be a good fit, bring him on and help you guys. There's so many great, just, type it in your search bar. If you're using If you're using Cakewalk by BandLab, specifically type Cakewalk by BandLab tutorials in your search bar. You're going to find a ton of good stuff. Now, apart from that, good resources for beginners would be, for instance, Warren Hewitt has on his site a Produce Like a Pro Academy. I'm a member. And actually, when I had him on the show and invited him on to do an interview, the guy is so nice and so generous that we talked probably for 30 minutes after the interview ended, just shooting the breeze about music and about where he came from, and super nice, laid back guy. He actually gave me a free lifetime membership. And I just now, due to the coronavirus and the constriction to home, just now actually started getting on that website and really poking around and seeing what a member has access to. And I can tell you, like right now, like that is an awesome you get access to multi-tracks from big name bands that you can mix yourself and put on your portfolio. You get access to Warren during his Feedback Fridays, live Feedback Fridays. You get access to member perks, discounted products. There's all kinds of cool stuff. So that's a great resource. And then obviously, like I said, all of the free online YouTube channels are great resources. So good question, by the way. As you know, I've not been using Cakewalk by BandLab for long, Mark says, but I've learned most of what I need to know from you. Well, I greatly appreciate that. Like I said, I am not the be-all, end-all when it comes to Cakewalk by BandLab, but I do try my best and my hardest to present to you guys everything that you could possibly need to know in order to get your head wrapped around this program, because although it is very powerful, it is also overwhelming at first. I mean, this isn't Audacity. If you come from Audacity into this, it's like a whole new world. Mark says, like live creative sauce. Looking forward to that. Yes, I am too. He seems like a super nice guy. We've went back and forth through emails, and we went back and forth through Messenger just last night, and was trying to line out when would be a good time. So next week, I'm hoping like maybe next Monday or Tuesday, we're going to try to get that in there. So, oh, okay. He says live creative sauce. Okay. I got you. Love creative sauce. Gotcha. Yeah. Like I said, he's a super nice guy. So I can't wait to bring him on too. And his channel has blown up, which he deserved that. He has done a lot to help out the community. So I'm glad to see that he's getting the traction that he deserves. One couple more things before we head out, because we're crossing the hour mark, an hour and 12 minutes now. I don't know. I might stream for a little bit longer, just to answer more questions. But for right now, I do want to real quickly just go ahead and give a huge shout out to these individuals. These are the most recent subscribers, which, by the way, if you have not subscribed, please do so. Subscribe, share this channel with your friends, hit that bell notification so that every time I go live or I post a comment that I'm going to be going live, because I've been trying to post it about 2 hours ahead of time in the community section of YouTube to let you know ahead of time what time I'm going live. If you hit that bell icon, I believe you get notified of those too. So then whenever I post those comments, you'll know, hey, he's getting ready to go live. Maybe I need to put the kids to bed, or maybe I, need to go for a drive in the country. I don't know. But a huge shout out to these individuals. Zave Ryan, another generous donation of $5. Mark Bergstaller, thank you so much for the $10 donation. Your mom, I can't thank you enough. Everyone just needs to thank your mom right now. Wherever you're sitting, wherever you're at, wherever you're located, thank you, Mom. I appreciate you for bringing me into this world. I wouldn't be here without you. All right, that was my emotional moment. Rahiv Mohan, I'm probably not saying that right, but thank you so much for subscribing. Edo Guitar, or Edog Guitar. Mario Stakanovic. I am butchering these things. Desert Hermit, I can say that one. Sammy 11411, thank you so much. Adam Kringle and Andromeda Coast Music, thank you guys so much for all of your generous donations and for being a subscriber. I greatly appreciate that. You'll never know how much I appreciate that. It's more to me than just becoming a subscriber. To me, you guys have taken stock in something that I am doing, and I love that for you guys. So, you know what? Let's go ahead and spin the wheel again. I mean, why not? Let's go ahead and spin the wheel. Is it okay if I spin the wheel? Are you guys all right with that? Let me know in the chat section real quick. I don't want to belabor you guys with the wheel. It's just something new and I'm having fun with it. It's like a new toy. I'm probably going to spin it more in this episode than I will any other episode. Zave says, Robert, I know automation is a huge topic and you could write a book on it, but could we even do a little on sometime? Absolutely. Absolutely. Actually, that might be like a good live stream, like where it's completely dedicated to automation. So live the wheel. All right. Are you saying like it's cool to spin the wheel? Or are you saying like, no, don't? Oh, okay. You love the wheel. All right. You're right. I do love the wheel. This is like a cool new feature that I thought. What's cool to me is like that you guys are okay with me spinning the wheel. Cause I thought at first I was like, man, they're going to think this is like super cheesy, but John says spin the wheel. All right, here we go, John. The tensions are mounting. What's it going to be? Ooh, another favorite. All right. So, we've already done a favorite guitar. So my question then to you guys is, what is your favorite plugin that you currently use? So that go-to plugin that you reach for every single time you're working on a project, what is it? Let's see what the comment section says about that. Awesome. Mark says a big second on an automation stream. Yeah, that would definitely, I don't think it would take up too awful much time, but trying to explain it properly, I think would be a pretty lengthy episode, because I'm sure you guys would have lots of questions, which is what I love. But with that being said, yeah, we'll definitely put that in there. Helix Native from Mark Bergstaller. Sonatus Comp. Nice, Zave, rocking those stock plugins. That's awesome. There's nothing wrong, by the way, with using stock plugins. In fact, I have mixed an entire song one time with nothing but Cakewalk stock plugins, just to see, not only one, was it possible, but for two, is it something that would sound good? And I was blown away, to be honest. I was like, wow, yeah, it's possible. Now, since then, obviously, I mean, there's things that, you know, you find down through the years that you switch things out with, but Mark George, Synth 1 or my Roland D50. Nice. Okay. John Kasanga says Superior Drummer 3. So much to learn. Yes. Which, by the way, in a good point on that, I just found out by doing a little bit of research from a subscriber who emailed me a question. He asked me, the question was, how did he word that? Oh, he was looking for a good sampler for Cakewalk by BandLab. And I actually found out that Superior Drummer actually can act like a sampler. So you can actually put, which I don't use Superior Drummer, I use Addictive Drums. And I know Addictive Drums, you can actually take a drum sound like maybe that you've played, and it records that drum sound, and then you can actually fly that into your like anywhere in your project. But from what I understand, according to the website, Superior Drummer can actually be used as a sampler. Like you can drop samples into those drum pads. So that's pretty cool. I'll have to check and see if Addictive Drums can do that too, because I'm pretty sure that they can. So, but yeah. One other thing, which I've not really made too much mention of this, Zave has already signed up for a Patreon membership, which basically is just a monthly reoccurring fee of whatever amount. It ranges from like $1 all the way up to $100, which I don't expect any of you to go that high. But basically what I explained on the last stream, just real briefly, I'll explain it now. If I can get enough Patreon members to have like enough monthly membership fee of collectively of like $500 or more, if I can get enough of you to be that generous that I get a cut a check from Patreon for $500 a month, what I'm going to do with that money is then purchase a piece of gear for the home studio for $500. I'll review it on my channel, do an in-depth review so that you guys can see how to use it, and then I'll give it away to you guys who have donated that money. So you're not just giving the money just because. You're actually going to get a chance to be entered in for a drawing to win that piece of gear too. So for your small monthly donation of like $5, $10, whatever it might be, whatever I think $5 is $5 is the base tier where you actually start getting entry level entries for the drawings. But then after you're in that, every month when I do that drawing, after I've acquired that piece of gear, then that next month we'll have that giveaway and we'll do a drawing and we'll see who gets that piece of gear. So it could be $5 a month and you could win a $500 audio interface, or you could win a $500 guitar, or, you know, whatever it is that we as a community decide that should be the best. So Mark Bergstaller, got a jet. Thanks for all you do, Robert. Hey, I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much for hopping on and taking your time out of your day to stop by. I appreciate that. So yeah, that was just a real quick plug on the Patreon channel. I'm not pressuring anybody, especially during these times, to do that. I'm just letting you know that it does exist. One thing that's going to help me to produce more and more content, as well as to be able to go live more often, is to be able to offset the cost of bandwidth, of time, honestly, and to make it worthwhile for everybody. Then, you know, there's cost involved with everything. So Camille Crawford says, do you feel like the difference in quality was noticeable using only stock plugins compared to your usual? No, I don't. And that's the crazy thing. When I did it, it completely blew me out of the water. I was like, there's no way that that's possible. I've used nothing but stock plugins, and this sounds almost identical to any other mix that I would do. Now, the only thing that I did notice is that just from the standpoint of usability, because I'm so used to using some certain plugins, which I covered that in one of my podcasts not too long ago about templates. I would definitely recommend you go and check that out. In fact, I'll link to that before we leave. But what I did notice is it was mainly just usability. Like I couldn't get to those sounds as quick because I'm not used to using that plugin as often, but I use nothing but the stock plugins. And generally speaking, like I will use stock plugins like all day long. Like the Pro channel itself, those are stock plugins. But that Pro channel, I could literally probably, well, I shouldn't say literally probably, I could literally do an entire mix just using the Pro channel. In fact, that might be a good challenge to do later. So, yeah, great question, by the way, Camille. Great question. Another quick thing that I'm going to go ahead and plug real quickly, in case you didn't know about this. If you look in the description of the video, you'll see that I also have something there that says t-shirts. So I have a shop, which I don't publicize this either, except on live streams. I coined the term Fader Finagler. So you can get that shirt there. You can get the shirt All Dynamics Matter, which is kind of a spinoff of the whole Black Lives Matter and White Lives Matter and the Everybody Matters. I thought, you know what, let's create one for the audio community called All Dynamics Matter. So you can get those here at the Threadless shop, which is in the link in the description below as well. And you can get these same designs on anything. You can get them on shirts, you can get them on totes, coffee cups, anything like that. And then of course, Mixing Ninja. I've said that numerous amount of times in some of my tutorial videos and had people like point it out and chuckle. And I thought, well, I'll go ahead and make a shirt out of it just to see if anything happens. But yeah, that's, but you can go over and check that out at any given time, and that will, be greatly appreciated there. And you also get a little extra something out of it too. So I'm trying to go back to the chats and I lost, there it is. Okay. Okay, so I agree. I use kilohertz delay, but can't get on with the stock delay. Yeah, I'm a kilohertz affiliate. I don't really plug their products as much as I used to, but they sent me all of their products for free to try out and to demo. And I have to say, they have got some really cool products, and they're really user friendly. Like instead of it being like a crazy looking user interface with all these bells and whistles, it's like delay knob. How much delay do you want? I mean, it's super simple. I still do use their plugin Tape Stop though. That thing is phenomenal. It's so cool. You can automate it. Again, we're talking about automation. You can automate it to turn off and on at certain parts of a song. And like you could get that where the person's like singing and they're like, I'm telling you, I'm telling you. And then they come back into it. Super cool. When will we get to hear short chunks of everyone's song entries? Okay, so starting this week, exactly, Mark. They're simple but so effective. So starting this week, I think I'm going to just kind of start like rolling them out so that everybody can start hearing them. But when we do the actual live stream itself, where we're picking, we're having the vote on which song is the song, we're going to try to listen to all of them back to back. So that's going to probably be a longer stream. You might want to set aside some time for that. I will try to let you know at least 3 days in advance before we do that official stream too, just so that everybody's on the same page. And then also I'll be trying to get like when would be the best time for everybody. So maybe in the comment section of this video after it's done posted, maybe you could write in there like what is the best time for you in your schedule to have a live stream. That way I can kind of wrap my head around, maybe go like middle of the road for everybody and try to find a good time. But yeah, we're definitely going to start rolling those out. One thing I thought about doing too, at the beginning of these live streams, I actually have a screen that looks something like this. And I have music playing in the background, which is usually this. So one thing I could do is actually have those songs kind of like on a rotate and have that playing in the background before the live stream ever starts. So you could kind of tune in and listen to the songs before we ever even get started. And maybe even have it to where when the song starts, I could have like something come up on the screen that shows you who the song was submitted by. So that might be kind of a cool little feature there. All right. Tonight has been the perfect time for me, Mark says. John says, it was great today. I have to go. You all have a great day. John, I have to go too, man. I understand. Thank you all so much for coming on and for stopping by. Before you go, before I go, I should say, let me remind you that this channel exists to simplify the complexities of the home studio and to help everybody to make professional sounding music in a less than professional space. Remember that we all have dreams and we all have that ability to create, but together we can achieve that. So we're all in this together. Just like we found out on this stream today, we all learned so much together. I learned things, you learned things. Let's just keep that momentum going. Let's all learn from one another, and let's really like knock it out of the ballpark this year as far as when it comes to creating and releasing music and just getting better in general in our studios. So thank you guys so much for all that you have done. I really appreciate each and every one of you. And I'm not just saying that. That's not just something I'm just, shooting from the hip. I truly do appreciate each and every one of you. And I thank you so much for stopping in. So until next time, guys, Mark says live to you. And I bet he meant love. Love to you and your family, Rob. Stay safe, everyone. Thank you guys so much. Yes, everyone, please stay safe. And just like Mark just said, I really do love each and every one of you as well. And I want to let each and every one of you know too, by the way, I don't know what your religious preference is. I don't know what you believe. I don't necessarily care. But what I do care about is the fact that I want to let each and every one of you know that now that you've entered into my life in this form or fashion, I am praying for each and every one of you too, and your families. I truly mean that. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for stopping on the chat today. You guys have been awesome. And once again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to email me through homestudiosimplified@gmail.com. Until next time, guys, you all have a blessed day, and I will talk to you all later.